Okay. Good morning, student. Yesterday we started this topic flow control in TCP protocol. We continue with this. Start with the flow control mechanism. Okay. So as we studied at the data link layer, that the flow control mechanism is basically define the synchronization between the sender and receiver, in which the sender is fast and the receiver is slow. Okay. When we are talking about flow control at transport layer in transmission control protocol, that means uh, specifically a buffer process is defined at each and every TCP processes. Okay, so the buffer process is defined in terms of circular array in case of TCP protocol. Okay, so each and every byte is defined in the form of circular array. As we studied that buffer space equipped at TCP sending process has three compartment. Okay, as we studied at data link layer, the sliding window concept is used to manage the flow or fast sending process and the slow receiving process. Okay, so the flow control mechanism is basically is used to regulate the amount of data a source can send before receiving an acknowledgement from the destination. So it is controlled by the receiver. Okay, so in TCP there is a mechanism which is known as defining the window size in the segment structure. So each and every receiving process define its window size with the help of segment structure. So it is the announcement of the buffer size at the receiver. Clear? This is known as the window concept or window size at TCP processes. Clear? Now we come to the concept sliding window protocol. Okay. Now this is the concept of flow control mechanism at TCP. Like what is the window size of TCP processes? Here, the window size is defined or the buffer size is defined with the help of two component in the TCP. Like one is the receiving window and another is the congestion window. Okay, the RWND stands for the receiving window and CWND stands for congestion window. Okay, as we know that the receiving window is the size of the buffer at receiver side. Clear? How much a receiver accept from the other side. Okay, that is the occupancy at the receiver side. Now the congestion window defines the capacity of the network. Clear? The capacity of the network defined in terms of congestion window. Okay, if the network load is exceed that particular congestion window size, that means the performance decreases. Okay, the network performance decreases. uh, in what term the network performance decreases? That means number of packets are dropped down, number of segments are dropped down due to the congestion at the router or congestion at the queue of the router. Clear? So the window size defined with minimum of receiving window or congestion window. Okay, whatever the minimum size between the receiving and congestion window, it should be defined at the window size of the TCP process. Clear? You know very well this is the type of sliding window. Clear? The window defines the free chamber. Okay, the bytes which are in transmission or in transit, the bytes which are acknowledged, and number of bytes occupied in the specific buffer whenever it comes from the application layer or sending process. Clear? So this is the notation of a sliding window in terms of TCP. Clear? uh, you can see that there are two walls in this particular window size. One is left wall and another is right wall. Clear? So what is the basic process of sliding window? That is opening the window, closing the window and shrinking the window size. Clear? Opening, closing and shrinking. Okay, the two main processes are opening the window and closing the window. Clear? What is the meaning of that opening? Here, opening the window, that means that particular right wall moves to the right side. Clear? Okay, what does it means? The right wall moves to the right side. That means specifically more number of frames are acknowledged. Okay, more number of frames are acknowledged. So whenever the slide moves or the window moves to the right side, clear, this is known as opening the window, that more number of buffer space are free for receiving data from the sending process. Clear? And what is the meaning of that closing the window? Okay, closing the window, that means this particular left wall moves to the right side. Clear? Left wall moves to the right side. That means number of frames are in transition. Okay, these frames are in transition and are received by the receiver and are acknowledged by the receiver to the sender. So this particular sequence of bytes position are free now, so it is come to the free chamber. See, whenever we are joining these two end, okay, this is similar to the circular array. Whenever we are joining these two end, okay, whenever we are joining these two end, it is the free chamber, or it shows like a circular array. Okay, what are the different compartment of circular array? That means free chamber, received data byte from the sender process, the data bytes which are in the transition is the second compartment, and the data byte which are the acknowledgement received corresponding to these data byte are free and again added to the free chamber. This is all about opening the window and closing the window. So what is the meaning of sliding window? This particular wall moves to the right side. This is the sliding window, similar to the sliding window. Clear? Now, what is the meaning of shrinking? That is the important part. Okay, shrinking is should not be done in the sliding window concept. What is the meaning of shrinking? That is, whenever this particular right wall moves to the left side, okay, whenever this right wall move to the left side, what does it means? It means that the bytes which are received successfully by the destination and acknowledged by the destination, that particular acknowledged or the feedback are revoked, which is not possible. Okay, revoking of a specific task is not possible whenever we are receiving the acknowledgement or the sender receiving the acknowledgement of successfully arrived or safe and sound arrival of segment. Clear? Which is not possible in specific transmission. Clear? That is shrinking the size of the window. Okay, which is not allowed. Now, what is the meaning of this particular slide? Whenever this right wall, sorry, this left wall moves to the left, okay, this left wall moves to the left, that means we are revoking the bytes which are already in transition. How it would be revoked? It is not possible. That means the transition, the bytes which are in the transition or continuum for the transmission in the transmission channel or on the transmission channel, it is not possible to revoke those bytes or those segments on the sending process again, okay, or in the sending process again. So this is the concept of shrinking the window size. Okay, shrinking the window size is not possible or is not allowed in the sliding window concept. Here only opening the window and closing the window allowed. Okay, opening the window, that means allowed more bytes from the sending process to write in the free chamber, Okay, closing the window, that means transmission, the bytes which are in the transmission are successfully received and receive the acknowledgement from the destination side or destination process. Okay, that is the meaning of opening and closing. Clear? Now shrinking means both the slide, okay, moves in opposite side, both the wall moves in opposite side. Okay, revoking the bytes which are in the transmission and revoking the acknowledgement, received acknowledgement or the function, that means the acknowledgement received by the sender process from the destination, which should not be revoked. Okay, that is shrinking. Clear? It is the concept of sliding window in the TCP protocol. Clear? The important part is what is the size of the receiving window. That means how much allowed the receiver allowed to receive the data from the sender, and the congestion window, that is the capacity of the network. Clear? See this slide. A sliding window is used to make transmission more efficient as well as to control the flow of data so that the destination does not become overwhelmed with data. That means it should be capable to receive the data bytes from the sender side. Okay, and it's all about the size of the buffer or the size of the sliding window or the window size at the receiver side. Clear? The TCP sliding windows are byte oriented, clear? Because the segment contains the bytes. Now, we can skip the numerical, it is not the part of the syllabus. We have only the concept of sliding window. Now, some points which should be remembered regarding the TCP sliding window, as we discussed that the size of the window should be lesser than the receiving window or the congestion window. Okay, the any type of TCP process, if it defines the buffer size, that means the buffer size should be lesser than the receiving window or the congestion window. Clear? The source does not have to send a full window's worth of data. That means it should specifically it should allow some empty part in the window for more bytes to receive in future. The window can be opened or closed by the receiver but should not be shrink. As we discussed earlier, the window, the two operations performed by the window, one is opening the window and another is closing the window. Shrinking is not possible. Clear? These 2 points we discuss in the concept which is known as silly window syndrome problem. Okay. Now we come to the previous slide. This is the concept is known as silly window syndrome. Okay, syndrome, that means the problem created at the sender side and the problem created at the receiver side due to the segment size. Okay, what is the meaning of segment? Segment is the protocol data unit at the TCP. Here we have no slide related to sliding window, we have only the concept. So listen carefully, what is the meaning of silly window? Okay, as we know that syndrome means the problem. Okay, so what is the problem created at the sender side regarding the size of the segment, and what is the problem created by the receiver regarding the size of the segment? Clear? This is all about size of the segment. Now as we know that the segment is created by the sending process, or the sending process receive the data from the application layer. Clear? The if the application layer sends data and the sending process, which is the TCP process, TCP sending process, create the segment. If that particular segment is a size of 1 byte, only 1 byte. Clear? If it is of only 1 byte, what does it means? Uh, for sending 1 byte segment, here for sending 1 byte segment, there is the overhead of 20 bytes of TCP header and 20 bytes of IP header. Okay, so the data is encapsulated from the upper layer to lower layer. the segment is created at the transport layer. The segment is the part of the data, containing the part of the data which which has the size of 1 byte only. Okay. After creating the segment, it attaches the header of the TCP. And what is the minimum size header? It is of 20 byte, as we all know. 20 bytes minimum header. Okay. So attaching the 20 byte minimum header, okay, and 1 byte of data. This particular segment with header is encapsulated into the IP layer or network layer and attaching the header of IP protocol, which is of minimum of 20 byte. Clear? So what is the total size of header? IP plus TCP, that is 40 bytes of header is attached for transmitting only 1 byte of data. Okay. So for sending 1 byte of segment, the 40 byte overhead is created at the sender side, which is known as syndrome created by the sending process due to the minimum size of the segment here, which is not permissible. Okay. Now, what is the syndrome created at the receiver side? What does it mean? Okay. uh, this is the process whenever a receiving process receives the data. Okay. It frees its buffer size to receive more data from the sender size. Okay. For example, the particular sender receiver process receives some data and process those bytes and transmit to the receiving process. Okay. And at a particular moment, when it frees its 1 byte position or 1 byte space in its buffer, it advertise its buffer size in terms of receiving window size, okay, as 1 byte. Okay. So it immediately advertising its window size as a 1 byte space, and a sender which is eagerly waiting for the window size from the advertisement of the window size from the destination side, it immediately create the segment of 1 byte and send this 1 byte segment and sends it 1 byte segment, including the 40 byte overhead to the destination. So this particular process is known as syndrome created by the receiver. Okay. Okay. बेसिकली रिसीवर प्रोसेस क्या कर रहा है कि जैसे ही वो एक 1 बाइट फ्री स्पेस आइडेंटिफाई करता है अपनी साइड पे, आफ्टर प्रोसेसिंग दी बाइट्स to the or after processing the byte and delivered to the receiving process, it immediately advertise its window size as a 1 byte. Okay. That means it sends a segment structure in which it advertise the window size as a 1 byte. Clear? Remember that when we are studied about the three-way handshaking connection establishment process, uh, in that particular second phase, it says it advertise its window size. Okay. Each and every party advertise its window size. So the receiver process advertise its window size as 1 byte, and a sending process which is eagerly waiting for transmission of data, it accept this acknowledgement of 1 byte window size as a good news and create a segment which contain only 1 byte and send the data to the destination, because it always obeys the advertisement rule of the destination side. That's why it creates the minimum size segment. Okay. What is the reason? Because there is the capacity at the destination side which is only a 1 byte. Clear? So this particular process is known as syndrome created by the destination. Clear? Now, what is the solution of these syndrome at the sender side and at the receiver side? So, first of all, we are providing the solution to the syndrome created at the sender side. Okay. That is, there are two solutions. One is Nagel's algorithm. Okay. Uh, Basically, Nagel's algorithm, Nagels is the scientist who provide the solution to the syndrome created at the sender side. That is the important question. Okay. every time it comes that what is the concept of silly window syndrome in case of TCP protocol. So please listen carefully. If you have any doubt, raise the hand. Okay. Now we are providing the solution to the syndrome created at the sender side. Okay. The solution is provided by the Nagel's algorithm. Okay. Nagel is the scientist who provide the solution. In this particular algorithm, uh, first of all, in first step, the sending process, if it receives the 1 byte data from the sending process, or receives the 1 byte data from the application layer, it immediately create the segment of 1 byte only and sends this particular segment with the 40 bytes of overhead. Okay. But after this particular step, the sending process should wait for the maximum size segment or maximum size data from the application layer. Whenever it receives the maximum size of the data, now it creates the maximum size segment and send that segment to the destination. And this process is continue. Okay. This is the solution provided by the Nagels. In first step, it sends that 1 byte segment immediately. Afterwards, it waits for the maximum size of data from the application layer. Okay. And that maximum size segments are sent by the sending process to the destination process. Clear? This is the solution to this syndrome created at the sender side. Now we come to the solution to the syndrome created at the receiver side. Now it provides two solution. One solution is the solution is provided by the scientist whose name is Clark. Okay, which is known as Clark solution to the syndrome created at the receiver side. The Clark solution is first, uh, whenever according to the Clark solution, whenever the destination process receives the data, it immediately acknowledges that segment, but announcing the window size or announcing the zero window size. Okay, what is the size of the window in that particular acknowledgement segment? That is the zero window size. It sends the acknowledgement immediately, but window size advertisement should be zero. Clear? Now in this particular case, it received the sender receives the acknowledgement, but it does not transmit the data to the destination because the window size advertisement from the destination is zero. So it should obey the rule applied by the destination on the buffer size. Here the buffer size is zero or the window size is zero. So it stops its transmission. Okay. It will wait the non-zero window size from the destination side. So this is the first solution. Here the another solution is, or we can say that the question is at what time that particular destination announcing the non-zero window size, whenever its buffer is free, whenever its half of the buffer size is free, after that it announces the non-zero window size to the sender process. Clear? Now the second solution is the acknowledgement, which is known as delayed acknowledgement. It is also provided by the Clark. What is the meaning of delayed acknowledgement? That means it receives the data. Okay, it receives the data from the sender side, but the destination process does not send the acknowledgement immediately. It intentionally delayed the acknowledgement, send the acknowledgement with some delay. Okay, after some time, or what is this time? That is the uh, how much the buffer space is free at the receiver side. Afterwards it sends the acknowledgement to the sender process. This is known as the delayed acknowledgement. So according to the Clark, there are two solutions of the syndrome created at the receiver. One is send the acknowledgement immediately but announcing the zero window size. Okay. And second is the delayed acknowledgement. That means it sends the acknowledgement of the previously received segment whenever it receives, whenever it frees its buffer size or half of the buffer size is free. Clear? That is the problem and their solution. Problem related to the window size of the receiver. Okay, so this problem is known as silly window syndrome problem. Yeah. You can refer my notes. I have mentioned these topic in the PDF of unit 5. You can skip this numerical. Okay, error control is not the part of our syllabus. Okay, now the next topic is congestion control process at the TCP process. Now, what is the meaning of congestion control? The congestion control refers to the mechanism and technique to keep the load below the capacity. As we discussed, in case of sliding window or size of the window size, the congestion window is an important part. That is the allowable load at the network. Okay, if the load is exceeded from the capacity, the network, the efficiency of the network is decreases. Okay, so we continue with the congestion control process. See, uh, see the slide. There is a router. Okay, router have multiple interfaces. Each and every interfaces has input queue and output queue both. Input queue, that means router is equipped with the queuing model, and which type of queuing system it is allowed, that is depending upon the type of population, that is infinite population or finite population. Clear? uh, and the size of the queue is infinite queue and the finite queue length. Okay, so okay, here the population means the packet. Okay, uh, packet arrival at the interface. Okay, whenever the packet arrives in the queue, okay, it append in the queue, that particular as we discussed earlier, that is the in performance protocol performance, we discussed there the transmission delay and the propagation delay and service time. Okay, and queuing delay. So whenever a packet is arrived at the router, it first added to the input queue. Okay, uh, whenever it added to the input queue, uh, it it adds in some waiting time. Okay, so the queuing model is basically the waiting time model, in which each and every packet should wait for a particular time. Okay, it depends upon the size of the queue, and when the packet which arrives at the specifically front of the queue, this particular packet is processed by the router, which is known as the service time, and that particular packet is delivered to the outgoing line to the next interface. This particular interface shows that what is the outgoing line of that particular packet to reach its destination. Clear? In this way, each and every packet is processed by the router, appending in the queue, providing the service time to each and every packet waiting in the queue, and delivered to the outgoing line, which is connected to the next interface or next router. Clear? In this process, each and every router provide the services to the packet and delivered to the next outgoing line, and a particular packet is arrived at the destination after some time. Clear? So the router equipped with the input queue and the output queue. Now see the graph, which is the graph between the delay and the capacity or the network load. Okay, the capacity means the network capacity, how much the load is bear by the network, and the delay between the transmission of the packet, that is known as packet delay. See the graph. Whenever the particular capacity of the whenever we increase the load on the network, okay, the packet delay would be increased. So the packet delay, increase of packet delay comes to the congestion area. That means if it increase the packet delay, that means more number of packets are waiting in the queue for processing, and the router is not processing each and every packet due to the bottlenecking. Okay, that bottlenecking is known as congestion. So in that particular case, the router should drop out some packets which has some lower priorities. So lower priorities packets should be drop out by the router in case of congestion, and inform to the uh, previous source or previous source host or router that you can slow down your speed, because the router, that particular router does not have a capacity to receive more packets in its queue for processing. Clear? So if we increase the load on the network, it decrease the uh, performance of the network and increase the delay. Okay. Now, the relation between the throughput and the network load. Okay. Throughput versus network load. Whenever we increase the load on the network, the throughput is decreased. Whenever it reach its maximum limit, okay, and after that maximum limit, if it increase the load on the network, the efficiency of the network would be decreased. Okay. So this is the relationship between the network load and the throughput. So hope you all will understand about the congestion control. We have some more slides related to congestion control. Okay. Basically, the congestion control process or the transmission, we have a congestion control phase and the congestion avoidance phase in TCP processes. So before reaching to the congestion control phase or congestion avoidance phase, if a sender and receiver process start transmitting data or communication between these two processes will start. That means the sender process defines its window. Okay, here the congestion window defines as a one segment. The size of the congestion window is only one segment in starting. Okay, so that this RTT shows the round trip time. Okay, round trip time is to and fro time of a segment when the segment is sent by the sender and receiver receive the segment and send the acknowledgement related to that segment is known as round trip time. The time taken between these process is known as round trip time. Clear? See that particular timeline. The sender starts sending the data in form of segment. Initially it sends only one segment. Okay, whenever it receives the acknowledgement for this particular segment, it starts sending the segment again, but now the segment are exponentially increased. Okay, so it know this particular phase known as slow start exponential increase phase. Okay, slow start means in starting it sends only one segment, afterward it's sending the segment, exponentially increase the segment and start sending the segment. See, initially it sends one segment, then it double the segment. Okay, two segments are sent by the sender. Now it again exponentially increase the segment, now it sends four segment. Okay, and this segment transmission is depending upon the congestion window. See, in starting the size of the congestion window is only one segment. Here the in the second transmission the size of the congestion window contains two segment. The next the congestion window contains four segment. So this process is exponential increase of the segment transmission. Clear? After some time, it may be possible the congestion window size exceed, okay, from the window size of the TCP processes. In which case, in that particular case, it comes under the congestion avoidance phase. That means here the congestion avoidance phase, uh, when the TCP process comes under the congestion avoidance phase, whenever it reaches to the maximum of the congestion window size. Afterwards, it may be possible that now if we increase the if the TCP process increase the congestion window, the number of packets may be discarded due to the bottlenecking at the node or the router. So it comes under the congestion avoidance phase. Okay, so in congestion avoidance phase, it not exponentially increase the transmission of the segment, it adds the additive increase of the transmission. For example, the sender starts sending the one segment in starting, afterwards it sends two segment, add one segment to the previous segment. Okay, now it sends the three segment. So this process is known as additive increase, which is in the congestion avoidance phase, or which is done in the congestion avoidance phase. Okay, so the size of the congestion window will increase gradually, not exponentially. Clear? So to avoid the congestion, the size of the congestion should be increased gradually or additively, not exponentially. Clear? See this previous slide. In the slow start algorithm, the size of the congestion window increases exponentially until it reaches a threshold. As we discussed earlier, that the size of the congestion window, if the size of that particular congestion window increase up to that threshold value, so it automatically comes under the congestion avoidance phase. In this congestion avoidance phase is start transmission of the segment from the starting, or deciding the size of the congestion window as only one segment, and additively increase process is continued. Clear? Now, in the congestion avoidance algorithm, the size of the congestion window increases additively until congestion is detected. Okay, up to what time that particular congestion window would additively increase? Whenever it detect the congestion. Okay, whenever it detect the congestion, it stop increasing the congestion window size. Clear? So